Hello there, welcome back. This is the last video of the week. This is my beautiful disasters. This is my one for this season of disaster. I'm doing quite a lot of these. It's not really a season, it's just like I do them if I film I want to talk about. There's another one I'm going to do as well pretty soon. So I'm doing quite a lot of beautiful disasters. So this one's Mystery Men. This is a lovely steel book from, I think it's Germany it comes from. Yeah, Koch Media, Germany. There's nothing inside it, you just get the disc, but it's a very lovely cover and I'm very happy to have it. Mystery Men was released in 1999 and was a disaster. It came out just before the comic book craze started. I mean, it came out after Blade, but this was like on the downturn from Batman and Robin, where Batman and Robin had killed the comic book movie because it had been high with the first two Batmans, and then Batman Forever was kind of it was a hit, but it wasn't well respected. Then Batman and Robin just pummeled it. Blade came out and did well, but that would start the Marvel movies. But it was in a weird period. This is a film that came out probably about 3 years too early. I think they released this about 2002, 2003. We've done a lot better because it's a funny film. It's a really funny film, but I think it just came out when people were sick of like cheesy comic book heroes. This was before Marvel just started to do the X-Men and Spider-Man. I think if it came out after X-Men, people would have gone a lot more because it's about a team of superheroes who are all incompetent. And stars like Ben Stiller, William H. Macy, Janine Garofalo, Hank Azaria, Paul Rubens, aka Pee-wee Herman. There's lots, and Jeffrey Rush is a villain. There's lots of really cool actors who are having a lot of fun playing. This is a lot of them were at the peak before they kind of went into like self-indulgence and things. This is when they were all really good. So they were doing some really good work, and they were. And this is a kind of hammier film. Is no one's doing a best performance in this film. But everyone's having a lot of fun and doing a good, odd performance. So Ben Stiller's Mr. Furious, whose power is his extreme anger, which is basically going a lot and getting punched in the face. William H. Macy is a shoveler who shovels well. He's got a shovel which he hits people with. You know, any garden implement he will use to fight crime. Hank Azaria is the Blue Raja who is done up as if he's like a Indian superhero, even though he's white and has a British accent, and he keeps on pointing out that it's actually historically accurate. It's a certain specific part of the British Empire in India, and it's really funny how he does it. It's like he knows like this doesn't make sense to most people, and he has to explain the gimmick, and it keeps going on and on. It's really funny, and he uses forks and spoons, throwing them at people as his superhero crime fighting thing. So these three losers are mocked by the police. No one can stand them. There's a superhero played by Greg Kinnear who comes in and fights crime, and he's the successful one. He's kind of a Mickey take your Batman and Superman. Like, he's also got all these different corporate sponsors on his suit. So it's a joke about selling out the superheroes to be a corporate whore, basically. But unfortunately for him, he's actually beaten all his enemies, so there's no one else to fight. He's just now fighting people at old folks' homes. It's just like, and his sponsors are getting bored with him. So he has to ensure that his one of his arch enemies are released so he can fight them, so he can get back his corporate sponsorship. Which means he releases Casanova Frankenstein, played by Jeffrey Rush, in a really over-the-top performance. This is when Jeffrey Rush sort of came. Before this, he had been a respected actor, and after this, he was open to doing big action movies, playing the over-the-top villain. You know, this was the film that switched it over, and you can see why. He's hilarious in this film. He's really over the top, and he knows this kind of specific villain who's smarmy, who's very smart, and he gets all the weird gags. He's all these henchmen. One of his biggest henchmen is played by Eddie Izzard, who's this disco freak who loves disco, and he's a killer, and he's obsessed with disco. And you've got all these villains, he's always henchmen who do these disco moves as well. And he's saying disco will never be dead and all that stuff. And it's just, it could be really, it could be cheesy, but it is cheesy, but it's cheesy done by people who know the line they have to walk so that it's funny cheesy. There's always these weird little details throughout the way that they'll describe disco, like Jeffrey Rush describes disco, and I see the passion in you and all that stuff, and it's just hilarious. Like, they know it's ridiculous, they're setting it up, but they're also into it at the same time, and it's just really funny. So after Casanova Frankenstein is released and he resorts back to crime, he ends up kidnapping Greg Kinnear's big superhero, so there's no one to stop the villains. So these incompetent wannabes now have to get together and actually defeat evil, which means getting some new members to the Mystery Men team, which is Paul Rubens is his sphincter whose farts can kill, because he was cursed by an old gypsy because he farted in her presence. There's a boy who can become invisible only if no one's looking. And you've all these other... Janine Garofalo is the bowler who's got this... Her dad's been killed and she's put his skull in a bowling ball that is supernatural and can run into people and smash them against walls and things. So these incompetent superheroes, and West Dudley plays a mentor who's trying to guide them, and he just throws out every cliche possible. He's just sending the whole mentor thing up. So there's all these weird characters interacting. And there is a story, but the story is really the interaction of all these weird characters who are just like losers. They just don't connect in life. They just don't get how to survive in life properly. They're just weird. And how they just come together to defeat the Casanova Frankenstein and his many goons. And it's just hilarious. It's just, I mean, the plot's A, B, C type of level. Is like, there's nothing complicated. It's like, the losers, they have to come together to defeat evil. They come together, they have a few setbacks, and they go and they win. That's the story, that's it. And you know it before, as you go in, what every beat is going to happen. But it's a case of, because they hired good actors who can do the parts and they know how to set it up properly. They have a fun script that allows the actors to improvise and go off on weird tangents. And it's just hilarious all the way through. So you have all these weird conversations, like Mr. Furious and the Bowler both are snarky at each other in very childish ways. And it just goes on and on and on. And having the Blue Raja start to discuss mother and father issues, and because she's a father issue and he's a mother's issue because he's a mother's boy. And they go off to weird tangents within these conversations that make the film really work. And they send up with a superhero. It starts out a bit over the top because they go back to Joe Schumacher to start with lots too many bright lights. But once they calm down and actually have the characters interact, it just pays off. And the over the top stylization starts to work as soon as the film gets funny, because it all suddenly makes sense within the landscape they're in. And you've got Tom Waits playing this inventor who makes inventions that are non-lethal, so you can't kill anybody with inventions because he doesn't believe in killing, but he wants to stop crime. Which would have been dumb as hell in most films, but it just works perfectly here because it fits in with the incompetent superhero thing. It's one of those films that you really wish it had done well, because you could have moved this on to a bunch of other films. It had a lot of potential to be the send-up of superhero films that didn't really come along till Deadpool years later. This was like Deadpool 20 years too early. And it's just so funny and so fun. Even the fact that it's a very conventional plot kind of works, because it's like, it just gives the basics, and they can work with those basics and move through those basics to do their own thing. It's just a beautiful film. It's just hilarious, funny as hell. I don't want to say any more about it. I don't want to spoil any more of the moments, But just go see it. It's just wonderful. It's for lovers of Flash Gordon, see this film because it's that same kind of knowing over the topness. You know, if you love campy superhero films, this is it. Okay, well enjoy this. This is the last video of the week, and I'll be back next week with some more videos.